Hi, my name is Susan, and this is my story. And my story is really about my daughter being bullied. I work for a company that allows me a really flexible schedule so I can take her to school every day, pick her up. I actually even walk her in every day. I'm the room mother. I've taken on several projects at the school, so I'm there every day. I feel like I know what's going on. One day, I took some treats to school at the end of the school day. It was a hot day, and I noticed Morgan playing with a little girl I'd never seen before. And I noticed the thing that intrigued me the most was she had her hands on Morgan the whole time, leading her around. And my mother radar came up a little bit, but honestly, I wasn't overly concerned. I started asking some parents about the little girl because I didn't know her, and honestly, I started learning some things that I didn't really love. But I tried to teach Morgan to be friends to everyone, and so I didn't want to tell her who to pick as her friends. But the more I learned, again, the more concerned I became. I started learning about some bullying behavior that had happened in the past, and a friend of hers told me that she had made fun of her daughter that very day. So when I picked Morgan up one day, I decided I was going to ask her if she had had any problems. So as soon as she got in the car, I looked in the rearview mirror where I could see her eyes, and I asked if this girl had bothered her. She came up behind me, behind my hairline, and she pinched me. And she told me that the little girl had been doing that to her. She didn't really want to talk about it, and I could tell she was uncomfortable. So the moment we walked in the door at home, I called her teacher. And then as we went to bed that night, I just said to her, I said, Morgan, I need you to come clean with me. And I think we're in day 7 of school at this point. I said, has she pinched you more than once? Yes. 5 times? Yes. Would you say she's pinched you 10 times? She wasn't sure. Then she told me she'd pulled her hair and that again she would control her and not let her play with her other friends. So the next morning I called the principal, and I'm here to say that the school reacted. The physical bullying did stop. And this is not really a she said because the girl admitted to her actions and wrote Morgan a note acknowledging what she'd done and said that she was sorry. Now 10 weeks in, we were still having some intimidation issues, and finally the child was removed from our classroom and has subsequently left our school. And our story really isn't about the school being a bad place, and I guess that's the message I want to share. Because Morgan shared her story, and we had several posts of support, and a lot of people talked about the schools. But to me, the school isn't to blame again. Bullying takes place, yes, at our schools, but I'd say that there's someone that could share a story of bullying at work, at church, at a daycare, at the park. I know that bullying does happen at schools, and we hear about it mostly there because our kids are there 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. They're with their peers and they're struggling through a lot of issues, and so we count on the schools to fix that for us. But I'm here to say the school cannot fix this issue. We as parents, we as community leaders, we need private businesses to get involved so that we can work together with the schools to make a difference. Morgan and I have started a foundation with the community, West Kentucky Community Foundation. It's an opportunity for people to donate, a tax-deductible donation. It's overseen by the foundation, so they ensure that all funds are distributed as intended for bullying exercises. We want to help our school, Lonoke Elementary, and our school system, but we recognize that there's another school, and a public school and 2 private schools. We found a speaker, Jody Blanco, who wrote a book, Please Stop Laughing at Us, and we want to bring her to Paducah. We don't think that this is going to cure it, but we think it'll start the conversation. That it will allow us to see how deep the bullying issue is in our schools. And I really want to leave you with 2 thoughts that she shared. One, she talked about how we as adults, as parents, tell our children to stand up if we see a child being bullied. And yet we often tell our own child to ignore the bully and they'll go away. And she says that's really a mixed message, and for her she thought, why was I less important? We have to stand up for the child. And she also said bullying isn't just all the mean things that you do, but it's all the nice things that you never do. We teach Morgan that what I do represents her, and what she does represents us. We want to teach Morgan that when bad things happen to you, you don't place the blame on someone else and hope the problem goes away. You make a difference to solve the issue. So we ask for your help so that we can make a difference. And you know, my last thought, I guess, really is when I think about the school, and sometimes it's hard for me to really resolve this in my mind, but At the end of the day, I had one child I was fighting for. The school had two. They had to help my child and they had to help the bully. If we don't help the bully, she'll continue to bully my child or yours, and we don't want that. So help us to make a difference in our community and in our schools.